guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misha and this is my channel where I post all planting related content. So if you're new, welcome or welcome back. So I think you can see in the shot we've been kind of doing little flower arrangements everywhere to kind of lift our spirits now that it's so cold outside. How cold is in your area? Here in Florida, it hasn't been too bad. I believe today the low was 64, and then at night it's gonna be, I believe, upper 30s, lower 40s. But you know, can't complain. So today we're gonna do another episode of my Hoya alphabet, and today is the letter H. And as of right now, I have, let me double check how many I have. I believe I have 8 with the letter H, so this should not take long. They are all small apart from one. And if I can remember how I got them, I'll let you know, and the care, and if they're being difficult or not, because at this point, I believe all these 8 of them, only one is struggling for me, and it since it became a little colder. But let's start with the OGs, shall we? So we have, of course, the Hoya Hindu rope, the green variety, and this is, I looked at the camera and I saw something white. It kind of freaked me out, but no, she's good. So she's in lega with barely any water. I do have to give her some water and some nutrients. So this one, when I purchased this one was like a little nub, like a little tiny nub. And I think I've had this one for about 2 years, and this is the growth I've got. And it has always been on high humidity and high lighting. It is on lega, and it seems to have been doing great in lega. So at first I had it in soil, but when I went lega crazy, she was one of the ones that I converted, and I'm actually happy that I did, because I have great success with lega. And I actually have great success with Hoyas being in sphagnum moss. So I do have some in soil, and the ones in soil, I feel like they do get root bound very quickly though, which is great. But I feel like they focus more on creating roots than foliage. So it's kind of weird how I've noticed these different things over the past two plus years now. But yeah, so the OG Miss Hoya Hindu rope, and she is looking great. I honestly can't wait until I see a separate tendril and she gives me more of a crazy vibe. But as of right now, I have to deal with this. So that's number 1, letter H. And since we're going OGs, of course, Miss Variagata. And this is so tiny in comparison to that one. The leaves even look kind of small. But this one, I have it where it gets direct sun for about an hour a day. And right now, none of them have gotten much lighting because it's been kind of cold and rainy and mucky. But today they got some good sun today. So that was good. So she gets her pink leaves from all the sun that she gets. And before that, I was actually sun stressing it with just an LED full spectrum light. This one, as you can see, it is in soil, and it's in a really small terracotta planter. When it comes to my Hoyas, I don't have any of them in plastic, because even though I am much better than in the beginning of my plant journey regarding watering, I still sometimes could overwater, and I do not want to deal with any of my Hoyas, losing any of my Hoyas. But she looks great. What do you guys think? And I hope that you guys are able to see But in this one, it's a very chunky mix. I have soil, some orchid bark, some horticultural charcoal, and pumice. And I did add some worm castings, and that's pretty much what I do. And then I did, before moving to the new house, I did fertilize everything in soil. But I don't tend to do it often because I don't have the time. So the next Hoya is Hoya phyla. And this one, I honestly can't remember where I got her from. It was probably an import. I'm not sure. Because usually if I get them from Unsolicited Plant Talks or if I get them from Gardino, I do keep their tag. But this one, I decided, you know, I had to make my own. So more than likely this was an import, and it's 2 tendrils. The leaves on this one are succulent-like, and this one, it's in soil. And what I do is I keep it, it's kind of too wet, let me, but this one I water it, and I keep the cup, it's like a ½ an inch above it, so that if I water the plant, it just can drain, and that moisture keeps going up even though the plant has already been watered. And I do have great success with that when it comes to the smaller terracotta planters, because I believe this is a 2 or 3 inch tops, maybe 2.5, and they dry too quickly. So I don't want to lose my plant. I do put them in a regular little plastic cup, and just like you saw now, it had some water still left, and it just was giving humidity to the plant. So I do tend to do that so that it can last a week before another watering, because I think if I didn't do that and I had a little, you know, saucer, like a terracotta saucer, it would not last as long, and I would have to water a couple times a week instead. So that's a little trick that I like doing, and I feel like I have great success with it. Something to think about if you have issues with, you know, smaller planters drying too fast and you don't want to like water, you know, 2-3 times a week. And that one, what I did instead, because it is a smaller planter, I did put little lava rocks, as you can see, as a tap dressing on smaller planters as well, so that it retains that moisture on top a little bit more. And so far so good. So far so good. Okay, next. I'm kind of tired. I had a long day. And we didn't really do much. I have to get like a vanity for Rachel and a dresser. And we've been looking, the last 2 days I've had off. I have weekends off now with my new position. And we were so unsuccessful in finding something that fits her needs in regards to size and price, because the ones we found, she refused for me to get. She thought they were too expensive. But anyhow, so the saga continues on that. And my family was here for the weekend for my birthday, and we had such a blast. I did post some photos of my family in my Instagram, so if you want to check them out, at Plans by Misha, and you'll be able to see my awesome family there. But we had a good time. So this is the next Hoya, and it's Hoya Hanie, but I'll have the names on the screen, since it's so difficult for me to pronounce some of these names. But this one by far has probably one of the thickest leaves. It is in lega. This one, I honestly don't pay much attention to it. When I first ended up getting this one, I want to say that this one grows wonky, because when I ended up getting this one, it had the 2 nodes and it had this 2 leaves and this 2 leaves. And then what it did in both nodes is that it grew another leaf on both sides. And the leaves are definitely bigger than the first ones. And it's a beautiful plant. Look at that. It has a beautiful leaf pattern. I do have to clean it. But it just grows wonky. It just wanted to give me more leaves on those nodes. And I don't see a lot of Hoyas doing that. There's very selective Hoyas that I have that do that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it made for a fuller plant on just one side. So it's just really interesting to have 2 nodes, 4 leaves, and just 2 leaves on the opposite side. And I've had this one since November 2nd of 2020. So it's just been, I've just had it for a year, and that's what it did. It gave me 2 other leaves in a year. And it's been in like a, since I had it, since I ended up getting it. But yeah, it's just kind of like a weird growing pattern. Did you have it? And if you do, how is it growing for you? Are you doing something different than me, or maybe have it in a different substrate? And let me know how fast it's growing for you, because I believe 2 leaves in a full year, it's kind of crazy, because I believe we're on the 13th or 14th today. So it's like a year and like a week and only 2 leaves. Like that's a slow grower right there. And I do fertilize it every 3 to 4 weeks, to be honest. And I have it in my office, and it doesn't get much light now, but it used to get, you know, a lot of artificial full spectrum lighting in the previous home. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it, but it doesn't do much. 2 leaves in a year. That's a little crazy to me. Okay, so I have 4 more to go, and I know I'm blabbering a lot, and let's do this one. You know what? No, let's do another one that most people do have, and most people get it from Unsolicited Plant Talks, and it's Miss Gianna. So Hoya Gianna, when it comes to this one, look at that veining. Are you able to see that veining? Like, that's incredible veining. And I know it's hard to see because of the lighting. I have very poor lighting, but it is a nice plant. Like when I ended up getting it, I got it with just that little node. It was only a 1 plant, single node, and it grew from there. It grew that, like, yeah, it hasn't done much. I know that this one I've had it for longer, maybe 2 years, and I'm trying to think. I believe I chopped this one. So this one, I believe I did a 1 node cutting or something. I can't remember, but it's not a fast grower for me. I do have it in lega. There's some roots coming out of the bottom, so maybe I do have to, like, I don't know, I do have to repot it or something. But I was thinking about converting some of my Hoyas into sphagnum, and when I see healthy roots, then bring them to soil. I feel like once you put them in lega to try to convert them, it gives them more of a shock. So I've been successful with going from lega to sphagnum, then to soil. So we'll see. That might be what I do with this one, but it does look really pretty. It, you know, it's just, they're not growing for me. So now that they're getting better lighting in this home, I hope that, you know, I see more leaves like this one, because this is gorgeous. Okay, so 3 more. We're almost there. So I have this one, which is Hoya had some Pem. and I'll notate it. So this one, the way it grows, it kind of reminds me of Hoya caudata Sumatra. Like, that's what it reminds me of, because my caudata Sumatra kind of grows in this pattern. This one, you can see that there's a little growth point right there. Yeah, right there. And this one gave me a very, very long tendril, which every single leaf on it has died, so I do have to give it a trellis. I did get a really cool trellis for it, so I think maybe after this video I might trellis it, because I have a lot of success when I do that with my plants, so that they can get more leaves. Because after, if they don't have where to grab onto, this is all I'm gonna get, so we'll see. I know that a lot of Hoyas, they do, oh no, some of my plants are getting scale, and this is one of them. I have noticed that. I don't know if I brought a plant home that I didn't double check or triple check, but some of my Hoyas are getting scale. This one just had one that I just scraped off. So it could have been dead because I fumigated everything before coming here. But all of my very, very thick leaf Hoyas are suffering from scale. And right now I'm battling with at least maybe 5 Hoyas that have it. And I've been spraying like crazy. So we'll see. But I'm going to win that fight because I'm not going to lose Hoyas over a pest. But I think it became an issue because of the move, and I wasn't able to really pay close attention to them, It made it a little hard for me. And also because of all the packing, I did lose some plants. None of them were Hoyas. But with the move, I did lose some Hoyas. I am losing my Hoya serpents. And there was a second one that died with the move. And I can't remember the name. I believe it was my Carmelier. I want to say so far, those 2 died. Or the serpents is dying. It's not completely dead. I just took some cuttings and placed them in sphagnum. And I placed what's left of it in lega. So I'm not sure. I might have to buy another serpents, but it's really like I barely have anything left to fight with. And then this is another one that the Hoya huskerliana variagata. This one I'm losing the battle. This one just keeps drying. I'm not sure if I overwater or underwater, but I think it was when I moved, I noticed that it started losing leaves and tendrils, and I kept checking the soil to see if I was overwatering or underwatering. So what I did is I do the same technique with the cup to just see if it helps. I hope that it does well. There's some leaves that I see that I'm gonna lose that are not taking much water. Usually those are signs of root rot, but it doesn't have root rot. So it's kind of bizarre that it's acting like that. So we'll see. But it's just not doing well for me. I don't know what else to give it. Right now, it does get a lot of light and a lot of natural light. And it's not being overwatered. I only water it once a week. So I don't know. I'm just pretty bummed because it's a beautiful plant, and I've seen so many people that when they grow it, it's so beautiful. So I want it to do good, but I'm not sure. I may have to look more into their natural habitat and just see if I can do something different to acclimate it to my home. Because my home, it's remaining at a constant 57% humidity to about 76, and it was getting to be so humid that we actually had to put a dehumidifier in the bedroom because it was getting to feel not very healthy for us. So the rest of the house, I let it be the normal humidity that it is at this time. We don't understand where all this humidity comes from. My previous home is not as humid, and the only thing we can think of is that this is the type of house that it's above ground on stilts, and maybe water is just under the house. I don't know, but this house is at least 10 to 15% more humid than our previous home, and it's kind of crazy. So the plants should be happy. They should not be going through this type of shock, you know? But this one, it's definitely one that I need to keep a close eye and see what happens. I hope she makes it. If you guys have any tips on this, let me know in the comments below. These leaves, they do look for the most part very healthy, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. And last but not least, I have my biggest one, which I have made gazillion cuttings from, and it's the one that keeps on giving, and it's Hoya halkanensis. And I know I'm not going to be able to get it in frame, but let me at least show you a little bit. And this is because we were doing some construction. Look how big this leaf is. And this one, let me keep bringing it down until, oh, by the way, look at those roots, how it loves lega. So I had to pad up to this one because the roots were, it's so root bound again. And I just recently had to repot it because it's, as you can see, can you see where all the roots, where I placed them? And then it just grew tons more. Like, this plant loves me. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna keep lowering it so that you guys can see. This is too far in the frame. Hold on. Keeps going and going and going. And then now, because it outgrew the wow, I can't even think. The pole, because it outgrew it, is not giving me leaves now. And it also, it grew so much that I can't, it doesn't get light. But you can see in this cluster of leaves right here, it's where it gets most of its light. And the leaves are growing pretty massive. So this is a beautiful, easy Hoya. And it's probably one of the Hoyas that I made the most cuttings from. So I do have a bunch of cuttings from it because it's so easy. And this one, I believe I ended up getting it at hoyaplants.com. I think this is one of the only ones that I remember where I got it from. And the leaves are so cute. Like, some have this like bulkiness to them, and then some are just simply not as bulky, and that dark green is just beautiful. I don't know, I just think it's a beautiful plant and it's easy, so why not, you know? Like, and it was affordable. It was an affordable plant, and I just honestly want to just keep having plants like this that are like easy. And I was trying to see if this one is something that I could do in a round trellis, but it likes growing up. So I don't know. And I don't, because it's used to growing up a pattern like that. I'm not sure. I don't know if I should just cut it and let it trellis. I don't know. Let it trail. What would you do if you were me and you have this big of a plant? I can't even have it in frame. So anyhow, let me get something that is not as big. But anyhow, so this is it. These are my Hoyas. with the letter H. The only one that I honestly feel like I'm struggling with is the huskerliana variagata, and it's one that I'm hoping I get to figure out soon before it dies on me, because it was probably double the size. And you can see right here where that one dried up, that little tendril, and this one looks kind of yellow, so I need to double check to see if that's okay. I don't know, it's kind of driving me crazy. I don't know why. Smaller leaf Hoyas, I feel like they're more of a pain to me. And I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is. But anyhow, so that's it for today. I do want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you do have any tips on the plants that I just mentioned, let me know. And if there's something that you would consider doing differently than me, let me know. And if you have an huskerliana and it's doing good for you, give me some tips, please. I don't want to lose it. And she's such a beauty. It would be tragic if I did lose this one. I've gotten to a point in my plant journey where I do feel like it doesn't hurt as much if I lose a plant. It bothers me and it's hurtful, but it doesn't kill me. It doesn't. In the beginning of my plant journey, I would lose sleep over it. But then I realized, you know what? If it doesn't make it, it will be still beneficial for the rest of my plants, because I'll make it compost and it'll still have a purpose. And when I think about it that way, that it will still have a purpose and anything is replaceable, it does help. You know, I do have a large collection, and you know, it's impossible to be able to take care of each plant 100%, you know? So sometimes as plant parents, we just have to realize that sometimes if we're overwhelmed, it's okay to walk away from your plants, you know? And the resilient ones are going to be okay. And when you feel better, just go for the, you know, and take care of the ones that are a little finicky. I have tried my best to, you know, keep that in mind and not go crazy, because at the end of the day, this is my hobby. You know, this is something that I love doing. And if it's stressful, I don't want it. But thankfully the ones that I really do like love a bunch and are finicky, they do good with me. So I'm happy about that. And it's usually like my anthuriums and my alocasias, because Hoyas to me are probably the easiest to take care of. But my alocasias, they do good with me for the most part, and anthuriums. And one day, hopefully soon, because we're almost done unpacking. So I think in the next couple months or so, I'm gonna do a houseplant tour, and I'm gonna kind of show you guys what I've been up to and how the house looks and how I'm decorating. And I'm also gonna show you guys outside. And we have like a garage in the back, and the garage on the back side, it has like this massive elephant ear plants. And then by RAC, we have some beautiful air plants that are growing. And also we have some I can't think of it, but we have some cool plants that we tend to use indoors, and I'm gonna do some like maybe cuttings of some and just bring them in and see how they do. But it's pretty interesting to see what we have outdoors. And I don't know, it's a messy jar that we have, a very messy yard, but I don't know, I love it, and I think it has tons of potential. We just don't have enough free days to do everything we want and in a timely manner. But anyhow, I feel like I'm sleeping great at night. It feels so awesome to have this like home with Phil, and we're having our dinners, and we already had a couple get-togethers, and there's still some things that we need to complete, but other than that, I'm very, very happy. I'm just tired and I'm cold, and I think I'm coming down with something. My throat hurts so much for the past couple days, so I'm really hoping that it's like just a cold, because I've been vaccinated and I do social distance and sanitize and all that. So we'll see. But anyhow, I do hope that you guys are having a good time at home, that you guys are keeping warm, and I do hope that you guys are still loving, your time with your plants, while at the same time giving your family some time and just recharging, recharge, love yourself, like just there's nothing like it. But anyhow, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, guys. Bye.